if time has proven anything, and any video game that you've ever played in the past like 10 years has proven anything, it's that you never get the full product. Welcome back after a very long time, everybody. We are back with some beers and boss battles for you guys. And we're going to throw this out there before anything. It's been a very long time. We know that. We did kind of cover this in our last video, which that was a while back, but we talked about, trying to be more consistent, but we're also going to be more realistic and trying to we have obviously a lot of other things going on in our lives, I'm sure, as everybody does. So carving out time and trying to make this make sense. And also we want to do it because we want to do it, not because we're forcing ourselves into that position. So, and we've always had a good time doing these videos. So just a combination of all those different factors, I think, is playing a very big role into whether or not we're posting or making videos. But we want to be as transparent as possible, definitely in terms of what expectations should be versus what we're going to be able to provide with these videos and stuff. So, bear with us. Hopefully you're still enjoying yourself. We definitely look forward to being able to provide as many as we can, but we're not setting up any
Yeah, I feel like at this point, if people are still hanging in here watching any of these, they kind of know. It's like we're kind of always telling and kind of explaining to everybody. But I mean, if anybody's really watching this by now, you probably figured out we're not really posting at one point we were posting pretty regularly, but things got very busy for both of us, so we're not. And I mean, that's fine. Take it or leave it. Hopefully at some point, again, maybe we get a little more consistent with the way things are. And again, I'm sure it's the same for everybody else out there that, life gets busy, and now we're going towards the holidays. Everyone's busy with work and different plans and this and that. So we'll do our best, but I'm sure you guys kind of can see that it's not as consistent, which is fine. And yeah, just bear with us.
Well, actually, so in terms of the holidays, that is a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. So disclaimer, obviously, you guys know that new Xbox and that new PS5 is out, right? So a lot of hype, a lot of not being able to get it, a lot of those kinds of things. But besides all that, we're going to do our usual thing. So we're going to get you guys introduced to our beer for the day. Now, tradition always holds value in that Rob will always be the one starting this off. So I'm going to ask you, Rob, what are you drinking?
All right. So also I want to preface that I'm trying out new lighting here. So if I'm glowing and blinding you with my paleness, I apologize ahead of time. But today what I'm drinking is something I've seen a bunch of advertisements for, but I've never had it. It's Cigar City Brewing, and it's called I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this properly, a Jai Low. So it's, you can see it. Maybe you can't see it actually. There we go, right there. It's an IPA. And what is different about this IPA is this is only 120 calories and it's only 4% alcohol. So it's not the kind of IPA that I would normally even want. Normally I want that kind of higher alcohol content. If there's some extra carbs and stuff in there, I don't care because I'm really going for the flavor. Here's where I was surprised with this, pleasantly surprised, is even though it's low in alcohol content and it's low in calories, it actually delivers on the flavor really well. It's that hoppy kind of IPA taste that you're known, you're used to kind of getting hit with when you crack open an IPA. It's still there. So they're kind of delivering the flavor that you're looking for. And maybe you'd want a little more alcohol, but you're not really getting that. I would say this is probably for someone who really likes that IPA flavor, but you're maybe you're trying to lose a little bit of weight or cut down the carbs a little bit, cut down your calories. So I would say for someone if that sounds appealing to you, this is a really good beer. The taste is quite good. I'm going to read, they have a little brief description here. I'll read it real quick. Tropical and bright with a full palette of flavor and a potency designed with the moderation in mind. Jai Low IPA delivers the highs where it counts and the lows where you would want them. Citrusy, flavorful, crisp. The other three little things written on there, and that's how I would describe it. And I would say kind of that nice hoppy IPA taste that you're used to. You get that here, and if you're looking out and you're trying to maybe lose a little weight and get healthier, this might be the move for some people. So I give it a B+. It's pretty good. Pretty impressed with it.
I'd say B+ actually for a low cal beer is very high score. right? So like we're talking like overall. I mean, I'm sure if we were talking specifically about low cal beer, you could say like, well, that might be an A plus. But I mean, just in a general, you know, like bracket of beer to be put in a B
Yeah.
plus at all is very hard for us to like. Because so the thing is and I know we've talked about this at times, but it's it never hurts to go back to it, and that is like we've said so many times that uh, beers can be good, and we're usually not too picky, so we're good to kind of drink anything, and we can get into like different styles of beers and stuff. But for a beer to really stand out, for it to be one of those B plus or A tier beers, it actually has to deliver a lot. And so for like hearing you say that is just kind of surprising because we're talking about such like what 120 calories. That's nothing. That's
Yeah,
super light.
especially for an IPA.
Well,
So
yeah, for an IPA especially. So actually, that
one thing
reminds.
I'll say too, I just while I'm thinking of it, I'm sorry to cut you off, is that this is not a pint. Like a lot of the time, if you buy a canned IPA, you're getting a pint. This is just your normal whatever. What is the size of a normal can? I'm an idiot. I'm blanking right
No,
now.
like what, like for like one of these.
No, that's a pint, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I
So a
think that's like
normal this is a normal can. This is not a pint. So technically, that's probably part of it.
12
It's
ounces.
like
A regular can is 12 ounces.
12 ounces. So this is just keep that in mind as well. You're not getting a pint. You're getting 12 ounces. I just wanted to put that out there while I thought of it.
Well, no. So what I was saying before was, like for it actually reminds me of a while back I had what was it? From Industrial Arts, I had the State of the Art, which was a low
Mm.
cal. It was 100 calories, believe it or not, in a
Wow.
pint can. I think it was pretty sure it was a pint. Anyways, but like okay, so the reason I'm bringing that one up, right? That one was
I'll
okay.
have to get that one next.
What's that?
I'll have to get that one next.
Yeah, it's decent. But I think the thing that I didn't like about it was that it was very clear that it was a low cal beer, right? Well, because like think about this, right? So you're talking about, you're drinking a 12-ounce can. I was drinking a pint can. 12-ounce can. If you have 120 calories, I mean, you got to figure like yes, they I'm sure they diluted a little bit there and that they didn't pack it, but it's still a little packed because if I'm having 100 calories
Yeah.
in an entire pint, I think that for me was I wouldn't say like a deterrent to ever buy it again. I wouldn't even chalk it up
Mm.
to all that, but I would definitely say it's like um, it it wasn't something that I was like super happy about. And the reason why is because like when you drink certain things, especially when it comes to alcohol and stuff like that, if it is diluted, if it's low cal, usually you know it, right? Like you can just
Yeah.
taste it. It almost feels like it's like this hollow kind, like there's something missing there. Like it's not as pungent or as full or whatever you're looking for, especially with IPAs, because that literally is what it's all about. But for me, I think that was a big turnoff. But if based on what you're explaining and from what I can kind of gather here, that would be something I'd actually enjoy. And I'm
I
sure
think
most people that like IPAs would probably like that.
I want to throw it out there too quick. 11 grams of carbs. So the carbs are fairly low. They're definitely not the lowest. Like obviously, if you go get like a Michelob or something, those are going to be way less. But for something that is an IPA, yeah, it's delivering pretty good macros. And again, the taste is there because whatever they did with the hops, if you like IPAs, I'm assuming you really like that hoppy flavor, and you're getting that here. Maybe you could tell it's not quite what you're used to or quite what you're looking for, but it's good. And the price wasn't bad. I think it was $12 for a 6-pack. So not too bad. I mean, not great, but not awful either. So
Um, well, so today I have something brand new for me.
oh,
This, yeah. So this one's called Rue Dream Lab Shoes. That's the name of this beer.
I love the
Okay.
art.
It Wow, it's very full. Okay. Spilled a little bit on myself. Okay, so this is from Equilibrium, which if you've watched these videos, you know how I feel about them. Great, definitely like one of the better brewing companies. Um, it's gonna be my first sip, so I don't spill any more on myself. That is, by the way, just off that sip alone, that's good. That's very good.
Mm.
It's a double IPA. Um, they're from Middletown, New York. If I don't know if anybody's interested in that. They don't actually have. I don't see much of a description. Uh, No, yeah, I don't really have anything there for a description. I mean, I can kind of give you my take on it, which I will. But it is 8.5%, so it's definitely on the higher end. Um, which I guess that's naturally what you're going to find with the double IPA. Um, I'll give you the second sip kind of breakdown. Mm. So, kind of reminds me of what was the name of that beer? And I can't remember now off the top of my head. Um, it was a New England style IPA. We had it. It was like that. There was one time where Rob actually did come to visit me, and I got like a
One time I visit
no
you
no
more.
no no no. But I'm
Oh,
saying
I
in
thought
this
he was
specific.
throwing out some shade right there. I was like, what?
No shade. No, I can't do that. You're too pale for shade.
Oh, look at this.
I mean, look, I'm not one to talk, bro. I have to like use computer lighting to make myself not look like a fucking weirdo. Um, no, but there was one time you came down and I got like 8 of these New England style IPAs, and it kind of reminds me of that. So it's not a New England style IPA though, like as far as I can tell. But it's just like almost that like little bit of like I guess like spice to it, like where you get from a lot of New England styles. Like it's like, and it's right in the beginning though. It's kind of nice, pretty smooth the whole way through. And what I do like, um, and just to be clear, it's not that in no way am I saying that I don't appreciate beers where there's one hop or one flavor or whatever it is popping out. Sometimes it does the beer total justice because that'll be like the last note you taste. With this, I don't really taste anything that's like popping out to me, which I like. I like beers that are pretty consistent the whole way through because what ends up happening is a lot of times, in my experience from having so many different IPAs and a lot of times from very good companies, I think the thing that really turns me off in the end is when you have one hop in there because a lot of times you're using all these different hops and making this crazy flavor. Sometimes there's such a strong note that it takes away from everything else, and
Yeah.
then or it's not a good note. It's not something that you really enjoy. And if it was just a little bit more balanced out, maybe the beer would be great, but it's not because of that one thing because it stands out too much. While with this, I'm not feeling that at all. And this can art, man. This is like so nutty.
That's awesome, dude.
Little kangaroo scientist, man. Yeah, with all like the hops, and little fucking yeah. But no, I
Yeah,
mean it's great.
I gotta say the variety, man. It's like I'll go to like even today, like I didn't even go anywhere special. Like up where I live, if you want to go to like probably the best place near me within let's say a 10-mile radius is called Halftime. It's in Poughkeepsie, New York. It's off of Route 9 if you live in New York. And they have like a ridiculous beer selection. I don't know how many square feet the building is, but it's a pretty massive building. I mean, there's all different kinds of international beers and IPAs and sours. I mean, they got everything you're looking for the most part, and I'll walk through there sometimes. And I kind of like to focus in on like what me and Troy have spoke about in the past is I like to focus on like New York beers or like Northeast beers. So I like supporting local businesses. And on top of it, I think they're delivering great beers. And I don't know how it works with the preservatives and everything, but I'm assuming that they're using less or they're not using them at all because they're coming from this area. So I do like to get a lot of IPAs and different beers from the Northeast. But I'll walk through there sometimes and like I'm just like I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like I don't know where to begin or where to end. Like I'm just like, and what I end up doing is I just end up kind of going with companies that I like, and I get stuff from them that I know I like. Not stuff that I know that I like, just from companies I know I like. And I try different things, or I'll try out stuff that Troy recommends or someone else recommends to me. But like they're just, I mean, it's like I'll walk around and I'm just like blown away. Like there are so many different New York breweries. Like ones like every time I think I've kind of heard of all of them, there's another one I've never heard of. So I love that, man. I freaking love it.
Well, so to keep you guys updated too, I mean, obviously beyond just our affinity here for beer and everything else, and before we even get into the consoles, um, and I'll keep my end short and sweet. We always, if there's ever a gap of time where we're not, putting out any content for you guys, we usually like to fill that in with some kind of knowledge as far as like, okay, what have we been playing? What have we like? What were we doing in that time? So for us, or myself in particular, I know Well, we have both been working quite a bit, and we've both been just because it is the holiday season. There's so much more going on.
Yeah.
In terms of the world right now, I mean, we're like in New York State, we're leaning back towards like a lockdown. So like it's like always this weird mix of things happening. But yeah, so I mean, in terms of the games though, I mean, Rob might have a different story for you, but in terms of myself, I mean, I've literally since the past video we posted, which was months ago now, I have not stopped playing Call of Duty. Um, and when I say Call of Duty, I don't mean Black Ops Cold War. So I know that that actually just been released pretty recently, everybody has been telling me that you need to get it, you need to get it, you need to get it. But
Yeah, I've heard the opposite. I've heard everybody say it's really bad. The multiplayer is really bad. Don't get it. That's what I've been hearing.
well, but here's the thing for me is like I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, pretty much strictly Warzone. I've been kind of tapping back into the multiplayer a bit just because I want to level up weapons. I've been trying to try out new
That's
things
all
and
it's
stuff.
for.
What's that?
I said that's all the multiplayer is for at this point for me is to like level up my weapons. That's it.
Yeah, so and I've been on the gold grind now too for my ARs. So I want to get all the ARs
Mm.
gold. I want to get them platinum. So that's been like a cool little, just like a little side thing I've been doing. But um, and I was actually able to get so far right now, which I'm sure for some of you you're like, wow, that's nothing. But for me, it's actually quite a bit. I have the M4 done, the M13 done, the GRAW done, and the Kilo done, and I'm actually right on the cusp of finishing the FAL as well. So that'll be 5 down out of the I think 11 or 12 that are there. So that'd be pretty cool for me to do. Again, I mean, it's really just simply because I like to just try out new weapons in Warzone, and there's no way I'm going to be able to grind that out in the pre-lobby or in the gulag, or I'm not picking up random people's weapons, and
Yeah,
because the
bro.
circulation of ground loot is not uh, there's not much variety there. Um, in like what they choose to have for the season following and whatever, it hasn't changed too much. Because of that, I'm not finding myself in an opportunity to really do much with other weapons unless I go to multiplayer and level them up and do all those challenges and stuff. So that's been kind of where I'm at. But I do want to real quick touch on the Black Ops Cold War thing. So the reason why I don't plan on getting it is because the only real incentive I have in buying that game would be for zombies. Now, the big issue for me though is that with zombies, uh, having one, like it's a great thing, but if time has proven anything, and any video game that you've ever played in the past like 10 years has proven anything, it's that you never get the full product. You're always going to buy the game. They're going to release DLC. So even for zombies in and of itself, right? Let's say that was the best zombies experience we've had to date. I'm going to naturally assume you're getting like 1, 2, maybe 3 maps when you start off the game. And they're probably planning on releasing a bunch of, old maps for zombies and then some new ones and whatever that is in the mix. And then, so my thing is am I really about to spend $60, potentially even more than that, on DLC to have one mode to play? Like, no, I wouldn't do that because it seems just pointless. Like, I spend $60 on a lot of dumb shit in my life, but there's definitely a point where you got to question. You're like, is this actually worth the buy? And from what I've heard, it's everybody's just like, oh, well, multiplayer. Like, I used to really, really dig multiplayer in a lot of games, but because I'm so much more into playing battle royales, that's the real multiplayer experience I want to have. I think the excitement behind it and the fun you can have, and being able to really squad up and play like a team, like for me that provides so much more of that fulfillment I look for in video games to begin with. So naturally the incentive does really go out the window because I don't want to buy a game. I'm not going to play it for the multiplayer. I'm not going to play it for the campaign. I have never, to be fair, since like World at War, I have not been a big campaign person in Call of Duty, and not because they're bad, but it's just not my forte. Like I've played Call of Duty and I've bought pretty much every installment thus far, and it's fun. I'm not taking that away, but it's just there's not enough there for me to buy. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. But yeah, this is really more or less what I've been doing. I've been streaming a ton, and if I'll leave all those links and stuff. I'll plug. You'll probably have already seen them. I'll plug them in the beginning of the video when we're finished recording and stuff. But and you can find me and Rob and on Twitch, on Instagram. We have a bunch of different content out there besides just our Beers and Boss Battles page, which I'll have always been right there in the beginning of the video anyways. But yeah, I mean, I would encourage you guys, if you're interested in not waiting to find out what we're doing in the videos, you can keep up with us through those different
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, if for in between, yeah, you'll kind of be kept in the loop if you're on either my Instagram or his Instagram. And again, his stream. I mean, he streams on Facebook, YouTube, and why am I forgetting Twitch, the biggest one? Twitch. So you stream on all of them, and he streams fairly often. I haven't really been streaming too much lately. I'll get back to it at some point, but I'm playing with him, so you'll hear me ranting and yelling in the background. But yeah, man, I would say for myself, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, probably 80% of my time is put into Warzone, and we're having a freaking blast. We're having fun somehow for months now. I mean, like, I'm not getting sick of it. I'm just, if anything, I'm getting more into it. That's not to say that there might not be some complaints or things that bother me, but that's like any video game. And well, he's giving me that smirk right now where he knows when I get irritated in the game. And I mean, legitimately, sometimes it's maybe something that is the game, and then other times it's just I'm playing like crap and I'm getting mad. But that, I feel like that can happen to everybody. But I've been working in other games as well because I like to mess around with different stuff on Game Pass. So I played a little bit of River City Girls, which, for anybody that doesn't know, it's like a brawler, kind of like an old school brawler, over the top. It's co-op, so me and my girlfriend played a little bit of that. Me and my uncle were gonna play it, but then we found out there was no online co-op, so we weren't able to play together. So me and my girlfriend played a little bit. It was fun. I'd like to beat it. I don't know how long it is, but I would like to get through the whole thing. I recently restarted Titanfall 2, so I played it probably, a year or two ago when it was like on EA, whatever their subscription pass was. And I think I got about halfway through it, and then I never kept paying for the pass, so I never finished the game. And what's cool with Xbox Live is they just put your game saves to the cloud. So they just recently, EA and Xbox kind of merged, or I don't know what you're going to call it, but they moved a bunch of these EA games over to Game Pass. So if Game Pass wasn't already a great deal, look, I look like I'm like getting paid by Xbox to say all this, and I'm not. But they added even more stuff. So Titanfall 2 was one of those games that I was like, you know what? Let me go back and play that again. And I had a blast with it. Short and sweet, not a super long game, which is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted to get through the story mode, have fun. The multiplayer, I'm sure, is a lot of fun, but I don't. Again, I'm putting all my time to Warzone, really. So I decided to just kind of delete that. After I beat it, it was a really good game. For anybody that hasn't played that, I recommend play that game. It has a really good story mode. You could probably get through it in like 8 to 10 hours. I even beat it on hard, which it wasn't that difficult. So you could even crank the difficulty up a little bit. But yeah, I've been trying to work different stuff in there, a little bit of Animal Crossing here and there. I'm trying to think, what else have I played? I don't know, just different stuff, but mostly Warzone. I mean, again, if you look at my Instagram, you're going to see most of the clips that I upload, they're going to be Warzone clips. And maybe you hate that and you don't want to see that, but that's what I'm playing. So, but yeah, we've been having fun. We've been, I think I'm just coming up on 40 wins in Warzone, and I think you're coming up on 50 wins in Warzone. So, if you look at the stats, I mean, even though it doesn't sound like a lot, we're in that like top 2 to 1% of the people who play the game. So we're kind of, we're having fun with it. Your KD is definitely I mean, he's just if you watch the streams, you'll see he's just way better. He'll jump in a game and his probably average kills are like around 10, maybe more, maybe a little less depending on the game. Me, I'm like 5 probably. It depends on the game. I have my games where I'm good, but this guy is considerably better than me. And then we got our buddy Chris, which I mean, he's not here to defend himself, but he is our go-to. He's always with us. And sometimes he comes through with some crazy plays, but I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. He's not here, but he's there, man. He's our
No,
boy. He's our boy.
He's our demolitions guy. So
Yeah.
you'll never know how useful it is to have someone waste one of their weapon slots on rockets until you play with that kid. So,
but when it pays off, man, it pays off. And I'm like, you know what? I talk crap, and most of the time I'm right. But when he does get those freaking rocket kills, they're pretty amazing. But yeah, man, we have fun. We have fun. So
it has been a lot of fun. And so I think obviously it's never our intention to not just not providing the content, not making videos. Of course, naturally, just we like doing this and we like being able to put that out. We get a lot out of it too. And we're always encouraging you guys to, on the receiving end of these videos, to get involved in the conversation. Leave comments, obviously, like, subscribe, do all those kinds of things. But beyond anything else, we do just want genuinely for people watching the videos to not just enjoy what we're saying, but be a part of that as well, and kind of give reciprocate the thought, right? So I mean, we can feel however we feel about all these games, all these beers, and whatever else. But it's also for us, the reason we do is because we like to have that community, and we like to have that freedom, so to speak, to be able to interact with you guys as well. So that's always definitely something on our plate. But I think even in the lack of videos that we've been able to provide, we've also still been having a great time, and we have been able to kind of venture off and do other things with our time. So it in a way, it's, I'm sure for people out there that watch these videos that are looking forward to these videos, it might not seem like, okay, well, that doesn't justify it, but for us, it's definitely like we've been able to actually allocate our time in other places, and still have a very good time, and still be able to be a part of that same community, but just not in this right. So regardless, though, I think it would be high time right now to dive into the consoles, right? So besides our updates and besides the beer, we want to just be able to touch on this. We figure we'll keep this video kind of short and sweet for you guys. Again, this is like a returning video again, and we want to be able to just like keep it nice and packaged so you guys can watch the whole thing and not feel overwhelmed and be like, wow, this thing's fucking 3 hours long. But
it's the Return of the King. It's like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. It's like 4.5 hours long, director's cut.
Yeah, so like we want to avoid the Lord of the Rings, right? So I mean, like
I love Lord of the Rings, though. I just want just to clarify, my favorite movies of all time. I'm not talking shit about Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying you might not be like, I'm not down for all this time right now. Like let's get this going right now.
So to get it going, we neither of us, surprisingly enough, have either of the new systems. And you know what? Let me say this. It might not actually be as surprising as I'm making it out to be. And the reason why is because a lot of people, and I mean the majority of people, cannot get their hands on either system because of just how right now it's like when the Nintendo Switch, I mean, it's really like any new console, right? I mean, a new console drops and it floods the market. It's always during holiday season. So everybody's trying to get their hands on it, whether it be.
And there's COVID, so everyone's home. So it's like there's even more people that want it than normal. So I would say it's a little worse than at least what I can remember.
Yeah.
But no one's.
But I also feel like that's another end of it, right? So I mean, a lot of people are less likely to go out now. Wherever you lie on the spectrum of COVID and how you feel about it, at the end of the day, the fact is that there are so many more people that are staying home, working from home, really doing everything from home. So that's even makes it even harder, because then when you have a company like Microsoft or Sony and they're saying like, okay, we're going to drop this system, a lot of their sales are going to be made online, right? And then people are going to reserve their console online, and then what ends up happening is then the servers are just packed to the brim with people trying to refresh the page and get it in their cart and do. So I mean, I have not been in the right now. I don't find enough of a reason to buy either of the new systems, and not because they don't have a lot to offer. I mean, they're great. I mean, we've reviewed them. We've gone into great detail about everything between their starting titles, whatever it was, and both consoles are like phenomenal, top to bottom. I'm not gonna like put one over the other. I'm just gonna, because there's a whole nother conversation. But I will say that as a whole, those consoles are both great. So, and a funny thing is that kid Chris, who always uses the RPGs,
he's got one of these.
He's got one of those, and he's got a PS5. He got both. I don't know how he did it, but
he's staying home. He's not working right now. He's able to stay home and wait up late and reserve that thing. I don't know how he got it. A bunch of people are using like programs, like bot programs to like, and all these scalpers are scooping them up. Apparently, that's what I keep hearing about. It kind of sucks, but I think we're kind of in the same camp where like maybe if they were available, maybe we would have scooped one of them up. But it's kind of like, you know what, I can't get my hands on them, and I'm okay. Like I'm not gonna lose any sleep right now. Like it'd be nice to have, one of the consoles, but I'll be all right. I can wait until they're in stock.
Well, that's another thing too, is that I'm sure anybody that's been looking for one and is on the hunt still, whatever, you've seen. I mean, or maybe you already have one and you're just bothered to like go back and look at what's going on. But Rob stepped away, so we'll leave it at that. But besides Rob stepping away, Oh, you went to go get a beer. Okay. Wow. That looks like a lot of fun.
This is actually a different beer, but so,
Um, so no, but I was saying, I'm sure, anybody that's looked around and seen, I mean, there are people literally just completely exploiting the market right now. And I mean, for good reason. I mean, it's like anything. You get your hands on something as exclusive as it is. And look, the truth is, and I'm going to tell you guys this right now, don't don't do this to yourself, right? I mean, and I think this is where I'm going to aim and direct my thoughts on it, is that I don't think that for anybody that wants a PS5, that wants the Series X, it would be remotely worth it to go online right now. And even if someone said, hey, like, I bought it for 500, I'm going to sell it to you for 700. Don't do that to yourself. It will inevitably be available to you. And at a time, once things kind of calm down, you're not going to have to scrounge to try to find one. It's going to be available. It's going to find its way to you. So, and another thing is there's no rush right now. I mean, all the like lineup titles that you want for those consoles are not available. There's nothing there right now for, like, the majority of people that have these systems are playing the same games that I'm playing on my Xbox One X or my PS4. So I mean, unless you're like really worried about, and maybe, hey, you're so outdated, you have one of the original PS4s, the original Xbox X's, you're sitting there and you're going, oh, like, I really need to get my hands on a new console. Like, my gaming experience is so shit. Okay, maybe that's a reason. But if it's anything else, don't do it to yourself. Wait, be patient. You'll get you. Which is the camp that we sit in right now. Is that, yes, we're not going to lose sleep over it. It will become available. It's something that will find its way to us. But it's just about waiting it out. Like, there's huge exploitation. People are marking it up double the price just because they
yeah.
know they can flip it. Why even do it? At this point, it would just be stupid. You're spending more money than you have to for a console that isn't going to provide you with anything more than just, hey, like, a better experience for the games you already play. For me, and I think that's, kind of where I'm getting at, is I don't buy the console just because it's, hey, it's new and it's updated. I buy it because of the titles, right? So I want to be able to play, like, I'm sure for a while now they're going to, because there's still so many people that are holding on to their, last gen consoles. They're probably, I don't know, again, I don't know, but they're probably like, yeah, like, I have an okay experience and I'm playing the same games as you. So what's the reason? And that's what I think.
Well, I would just throw out. I agree pretty much with everything you just said. I would say the only difference is maybe for people, if you have a lot of money, maybe you make a ton of money. You're like, you know what, for the year, this is going to be my gift to myself. If I got to pay double the price, I'm okay with it because I want to get excited about the new console. And I would say if you're one of those guys, go for it. If you can afford it, why not? I guess if you want to do it and you're really motivated. I would also say with like Cyberpunk 2077 coming out, I would say if you're not into PC gaming and you want to have that, better console experience, with a game like that, you're going to definitely notice the difference between, like, let's say the PS4 Pro to the PS5 and the Xbox One X to the Series X. You're going to see that big difference. So maybe if you're in that kind of small minority, that small camp of people, then maybe you'd want to get it. But for everybody else, I mean, I know you're excited, you want to run out and get it, but let's be honest, like Miles Morales, if you really want to play it, you can get it on the PS4. With Xbox, I mean, I don't think they have anything exclusive. It's just like, what, you got the better version of Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, these third-party games. I would say the only difference is, like, PlayStation, you have Demon Souls. Again, it's a remake, but it is kind of a new game. Like, the graphics are updated. And I mean, it does look like a fun experience. But if you're one of those people who, is just kind of like your normal everyday gamer, I would say hold off, because here's the other thing you got to think about. You don't know what kind of hardware problems, software problems, different things that may pop up in that early lifespan of a system, that maybe they'll have some of those problems ironed out in the coming months. So maybe if you can't get one for 6 months, maybe it'll be for the better, and there'll be more games out. I mean, let's say for the Series X, we don't really know when Halo Infinite's coming out, but it might be coming out early next year. So maybe that'll be out by then. And then you actually really have a reason to go grab one. One thing that I have spoken about in the past is that I was looking into getting a PC. I can't remember if we've recorded a couple episodes that never came out. So I don't know if I spoke about this in one that came out or didn't come out, but my buddy we pretty much did a trade. I had a set of old Mustang rims, not old, they're brand new, really nice Mustang rims. They were over $1,000 that I paid for them, and they didn't fit on a car that I had. I had to get spacers, and I was lazy. And long story short, they were in my basement forever. He saw them. He was like, those are really nice. He's like, how about we'll do a trade? I'll build you a PC. He's really into PCs, building PCs. He's built a bunch of PCs for a lot of people. He's like, let's do a trade. Like, I'll build you a PC for the wheels. I was like, sounds good to me. So he's in the process now of start. I don't know if he's actually starting to build it yet, but pretty much it's going to happen. So let's say in the next 3 months, probably I'll have a gaming PC. So for someone like me, it's even less of a big deal because like these are just wheels I wasn't even using. And then at some point I'm getting the PC and I'll probably play Cyberpunk on that, and I'll probably play Halo Infinite on that. And I'll probably wait because I know I've talked about this in other episodes that we've released. I was a late PS4 adopter. So by the time I bought that thing, I think it was like 200 something dollars. It came with God of War, Last of Us, um, Horizon Zero Dawn, which I still got to get to that game, but all these awesome exclusive games. So I bought the thing. My uncle has every PS4 exclusive you can imagine. He let me borrow any of them that I wanted. So I spent like $250 and I have all this great library of games that are amazing. So being a late adopter was great for me. So I would say for everybody else, maybe think about it like that. Like maybe being a late adopter end up being better for you. There's going to be more games out. The system's going to be in stock. It may be a lower price depending on how long you wait. Just something to think about. I mean,
Well,
it's fun to rush out there, but
I was also gonna say, I mean, we've seen this to be very true. Just in the past with consoles coming out. I mean, any new tech that comes out, usually what ends up happening is like, the first line, the first drop has some things. There's some issues, some
yeah,
bugs, so to speak. I've heard some stories about both consoles and some pretty bad things, but again, that might be another thing provided to you in thought that would help you kind of decide for yourself if this is worth it, right? So if you rush out there, you grab the console, and then you get the console, you bring it home, and it works like a piece of shit because there's still things that they need to, you know, tune up and fix to make it what it's supposed to be. Was it really worth the purchase? Probably not. So I'm gonna again, like this is just me making my most compelling argument. Don't do it yet. Wait till they're in stock. Give it some time. Again, be patient. I mean, hey, if you've already gotten your hands on one and it works great, fucking awesome. That's we would never want anything less for you. Like, hey, have the best gaming experience you could have. But there are a lot of people that have reported like issues with the consoles and just like weird things. Like, and so if you're again, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, like I want to rush out there, I want to grab it. If you go out there and you do, and then it's not working the right way, it would be a total like buzzkill. And I don't think anybody wants to have to worry about returning a console to get it. Like, you don't even know when you're going to be able to get your hands on another one. I think it might even be
yeah,
worth it to just be patient in that way and just like let everything kind of work itself out. And then, if the opportunity arises, you get your hands on it.
yeah. No, I totally agree, and I would say, hey, if you were able to get your hands on one, whether you were lucky enough to get ooh man, a burping over here. Whether you were lucky enough to get a pre-order and you were able to reserve one, whatever it was, or you paid a lot of money for it. If you have one, let us know what you think about it. I would love to hear what you think. Like I haven't heard. So like we were saying before, the only person I know that got their hands on either of them, which somehow he got both of them. He got the Series X and the PS5. I don't think he's actually has the PS5 yet. I think he ordered it and he was able to reserve it, but I don't think he has it yet. So he's been playing the Series X. He's been enjoying it, but I haven't heard from anybody that have these consoles. I've heard of reviewers, a bunch of YouTubers, a bunch of different people, but it'd be great. Hey, if you have it, hop in the comments. Let us know what you think about it. What do you think about the PlayStation 5 controller? Because I've been hearing great things about it. It's got the forget the term for it, but something with the triggers where they'll react to like whatever you're doing in the game, and it'll actually give different resistance depending on what you're doing. I've been hearing great things about that. So yeah, if you have one and you're enjoying it, let us know what you think about it. That'd be cool to hear.
Yeah. Well, this has been very, very fun. Very good experience, and it's always better when you can come back and you have some good things to talk about. We'll have a lot more to talk about along the way. We do, as always, appreciate you guys stopping in to watch the video, be a part of it, and we're gonna always encourage you to get down in there in those comments and talk about anything, even if it has nothing to do with anything we talked about. If you just had questions or whatever, I mean, we don't care. I mean, it's really again, it's just about having a good talk. Some the dialogue is all that matters, right? So, um, yeah, I guess really until next time, we hope you guys are playing some really good games. We hope if you were looking for a console, you get your hands on it and you're drinking some really good beer. And if you're not old enough to drink the beer, just wait because you'll be there one day and then you can get the full experience. But again, though, thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
That's what I'm gonna leave it at. Peace.